Hey everyone! I'm here for yet another episode of Bible Q&A. We're going to be discussing, how do you pull yourself up? Well, in order to pull yourself up, you have to identify what is pulling you down. For example, in Joshua chapter 7 verse 7, Joshua asked God why his army lost a battle against the people of Ai, so he could figure out how to win the next time. God told Joshua that someone had stolen some of Ai's goods, that person was discovered and punished, and the Israelites were able to take over the town. Nowadays, people do this not with an ephod, but with the word of God. As it was said in 2 Timothy, "Study to show thyself approved unto God, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth." 2 Timothy chapter 2 verse 15. The Word of God can inspire self-examination, according to Psalms chapter 119 verse 59, helping us to find out what kind of internal issues are responsible for the situation we're in. Once what is keeping you down is identified, there are two main ways to get out of it. The first step is to stay calm and develop hope. The more you move in the quicksand, the more likely you are to sink. You can't panic when you're in a tricky situation, or things could get worse. For example, as the psalmist said, "Remember the word unto thy servant, upon which thou hast caused me to hope. This is my comfort in my affliction, for thy word hath quickened me." Psalms chapter 119 verses 49 to 50. The psalmist asked God to remember his word because he did, taking comfort in it when he was in distress. So if you're going through a marital crisis and you keep getting into arguments with your spouse, calm down. Don't keep thrashing until the marriage ends in divorce. Think about your relationship. If you can't get through this crisis, will you really be able to go through another one with a different person? And if you eventually divorce, how will you raise your Christian children, as advised by Deuteronomy chapter 6 verse 7? And think more positively. How can you salvage the situation? How can you be a more supportive wife, as advised by St. Paul in 1 Timothy chapter 5 verse 14? How can you be a less aggressive husband, as Paul suggested to the Colossians in Colossians chapter 3 verse 19? What are things both of you can do to rekindle the love? The second step is to ask God for a rope so you can be pulled out of the quicksand. For example, King Manasseh was taken to Babylon in 2 Chronicles chapter 33 verse 11, and when he prayed for deliverance, God freed him, and he repaired God's altar in verse 19. Also, in 1 Kings chapter 19 verses 15 to 19, King Sennacherib had taken the cities on Judah's northern border, and his troops were ready to occupy the capital. However, Hezekiah prayed to God for deliverance, and Sennacherib's army was decimated. For those in Venezuela, Sudan, Ukraine, Myanmar, and other troubled parts of the world, pray to God as you hunker in your houses or prepare to flee the country. Not only will you find a way out of the mess greedy politicians are creating for you, but you will also find the strength to carry on through the storm. Now, sometimes it might take a long time for the rope to arrive, and that can cause you to lose faith. When Moses left the Israelites for weeks, they eventually set up their own gods, in Exodus chapter 32. And when Samuel didn't arrive in time to make a sacrifice to defeat the Philistines, Saul just did it himself, in 1 Samuel chapter 13 verse 9. However, as you wait, God will give you the strength to navigate the temptations that will lie in your way, and you'll either get the stuff you're looking for or find the stuff you didn't even think you wanted. As it was said in Isaiah, "But they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary, and they shall walk and not faint." Isaiah chapter 40 verse 31. And that is the end of this episode of Bible Q&A, where we talked about how to pull oneself up during challenges. Thank you for listening, and don't forget to like and subscribe.